Hey there! So let's talk about a challenge that I think we all face. How do you take a really complex idea, something that might be a little dense, maybe even a bit dry, and turn it into something people actually want to read and share? Well, today we're going to build a blueprint for exactly that, based on our source material. Let's jump right in. This is it, right? This is the million-dollar question. It doesn't matter if you're a content creator, a teacher, or you're just trying to get your team on board with a new idea. You've got this valuable info, but how do you package it so it doesn't just, exist, but it actually grabs people and pulls them in? Well, it turns out it's not some kind of magic trick. The source material we're digging into today shows there's a pretty reliable recipe, an actual anatomy of engagement that we can all learn from. So let's start taking that blueprint apart, piece by piece. Okay, first things first. Every single great piece of content needs a strong skeleton. The structure, that's the foundation. It's what everything else is built on. And if you get this part wrong, even the most incredible ideas can just feel like a confusing mess. Our source material actually breaks this down into two super important first steps. Now, they might seem simple, but trust me, they are the essential framework you need to guide your audience through the journey you've laid out for them. So here's that foundation, an intro that grabs you and content broken into clear sections. Think of it like this. The first part is the promise you make to your audience, and the second is the clear path you give them to follow. That first step, the intro, that's your handshake. It has to be compelling. We're talking about a short, exciting title and a hook that doesn't just tell people what's coming, it sparks real curiosity. It needs to scream, hey, stick around, this is going to be good. Now, I absolutely love how this slide reframes that second step. The source says to think about your sections as mini chapters. That just nails it, doesn't it? Breaking your content down isn't just about making it easier to read, it actually creates a story-like flow. Each little section becomes a manageable step in a bigger journey, which makes the whole thing feel so much more logical and way less overwhelming. All right, so we've got our skeleton in place. Now it's time to give it some personality. We're talking about writing style, the voice of your content. This is what transforms a dry pile of facts into a living, breathing conversation. And the source is really specific on this. It argues for a huge shift away from that old school, academic tone and towards something way more dynamic, more human. This slide just lays it out so clearly. So instead of being dry and formal, you want to be conversational and inspiring. Instead of abstract and distant, you use stories and metaphors to connect the dots for your audience. And please, don't just throw facts at people. Connect them to real life. The main goal here is to make your content feel like you're talking with a smart friend, not like you're reading from a textbook. Okay, structure is solid, voice is on point. Now it's time for the next layer. This is where we add those little sparks, those memorable moments that make your content really stand out. This is the wow factor that makes people stop, think, and actually remember what you told them. So where do these wow moments come from? Well, our blueprint points to three key triggers: fascinating facts, tips you can actually use, and some smart visual cues. Let's start with that first one. This is all about dropping in those surprising details, the little-known facts or the psychological insights that make your audience go, huh, I never knew that. It's like a little jolt of curiosity that pulls their attention right back in. Next up, make it actionable. And yeah, there's a magic number here. 2 to 3 practical, usable takeaways in every single section. This is so crucial because it turns someone from just a passive reader into an active participant. It answers that big "so what" question by giving them real value they can use right away. And finally, toss in some visual cues. And listen, we're not talking about needing to be a professional graphic designer here. Really simple things like emojis, icons, or even little doodles. They break up the wall of text, they help guide the reader's eye, they inject a little bit of fun and creativity, and they make the whole thing feel way more approachable. So we've built the structure, we've found our voice, we've added that wow factor, but how we finish is every bit as important as how we start. We're at the final critical piece of the puzzle, crafting an ending that actually leaves a lasting impression. This quote just captures the goals so perfectly. A conclusion isn't just a summary, it's designed to resonate. It's supposed to give your audience something to carry with them, to spark some kind of reaction, whether that's just thinking about it later, feeling motivated, or even starting a conversation. And the way you pull this off is by landing the plane with purpose. You can end with a really powerful reflection, a short motivational thought, or maybe one final thought-provoking question that brings everything full circle. And so, just to practice what we've preached here, we'll leave you with this question. Because when you follow this blueprint, when you build a solid structure, find an authentic voice, sprinkle in those wow factors, and stick the landing, you're not just sharing information anymore. You're actually crafting an experience. You're telling a story.